and years of experience as his guide. Jamie offers this healing phenomenon to those who need it most. People searching for life direction and guidance, as well as those seeking answers and closure from family and friends that have passed. How does Jamie's mediumship work? Let him tell you. Listen carefully. Triangulation of communication. He says, each of us is like a radio tuner. We have the ability to tune into many different channels. Before I read someone, I tune into our loved one's channel and send out an invitation of communication with you. Our souls are like fingerprints in a way that each of us is unique. Our loved ones know our soul print. And by our invitation and their realization, they now create a triangle of communication. Jamie says, Jamie to them to you, and you to Jamie. They know that Jamie is on and are receptive and will sometimes come early to understand Jamie's rules and regulations and how most effectively to communicate. Now that we are all on the same channel, let's work together as a team. Let me introduce to you, to the world, to the universe, Mr. Jamie Clark. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let the adventures begin.
We are here. And you know what? It's just another pleasant day. And down here, 91 degrees.
Wow, man.
You know, the rest of the country, it's snowing, it's ice, it's cold, it's all because tornadoes, hail the size of baseballs. Down here,
Yeah.
I don't know, man, this is laid back. I mean, this is like.
So are you getting all the humidity too, or is it not too bad?
During the summertime. But that's only because you get those, those thunderstorms that come through every day.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, but talking about that and the connection to mental thought and water, those circumstances where you might have heard where there was a big storm coming and people started mentally getting together and sending it a redirection, and it did literally. But
Yes.
in addition, that kind of ties into, well, water and those clouds where it was water raining, and that thought was put in enough to where it literally physically shifted the direction of what it was coming from. That kind of, I equate as like our human body is almost 70% water, and the brain is 80%. Those thoughts we think vibrate through the whole beingness. Good thoughts create, more easement. The lower challenging thoughts tend to create a diseasement, depending on what the frequency is.
You and I, through the years, we've talked about that before, about the body being more water and the water, water in the sea and the whole thing. And the moon, controls this and that and the other thing. I mean, I had someone, and this is the honest to God truth, like 2 days ago. They said, you know what? I knew that storm was coming. I said, you know what? You're right. They looked at me like, huh? I said, yeah, you're right. I said, your body felt it coming. And they said, well, how did I do that? I said, it's easy. I said, we're receivers. I said, when the storm is coming, I said, there's electric, there's lightning, there was all kinds of things that connected to it. I said, it's energizing you. So you then feel it, and then you say, ooh, there's a storm coming. I said, you don't know how innocent it really, really is, but I said, it's a major thing, I said, in your life, because if you can feel it, then there are so many other things that you can open up to be able to feel. Like when somebody says, I feel love. They don't know how right they are.
Because it's an energy of information. Yeah. And those feelings, what if people can start calibrating themselves to go, oh, okay, so now I know how when a storm feels it because I'm 70% water. So I'm now kind of vibing with that other thing. So I was using that as a gauge because it was kind of coming closer and I felt the energy coming closer. And then they were able to redirect things depending on what they wanted. The great thing is what I feel like is kind of like life. Life's coming to us. Now, how do we want to integrate? Want to be in a reactive state, or can we be proactive and accept it as a reality already there and let it come to us? For me, I'm lazy. I let it come to me with a life flow rather than trying to make it happen with a life force. Whole
Well,
different energy.
the end of the world isn't going to be until 2577. So I'm not going to be around to see it come. I don't care about that part. But that's an actual. This was through different prophets and psychics and the whole thing. And that I don't know. You should start working on that one because
I already have, and I've got.
2577 is the number I got. But
Mm.
in that time, and that we've got plenty of time, and that to get things right. We've screwed things up too bad, and we keep thinking against ourselves. You ever notice that? How many people? I mean, Maggie, come on, you're doing the reading of the cards. How many people turn around and say, "Oh no, no, that's not no, I've never done that," or they're always that little bit of negative, that like is built. It's like putting a battery in something upside down. It just doesn't, it's backwards for some reason. We all have that pullback, that negative side to us. No, I can't believe that. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. And you don't realize how many beautiful things there are in our life that are so positive and so go ahead. I'm going to use that one. But go ahead and do what you want to do. Say what you want to say. Be who you want to be. And these kind of things drive me crazy. Like you two, I'm telling you, I swear to God, man, I got to do this. One of these days now, we're going to have a giant Zoom because with
Yeah.
that, I mean, I can have to forget about it. I could have some.
Right.
I might have to get a bigger screen, but that's all right.
You will.
I mean, this was only 32, but maybe again.
Plus your own show of doing that.
Well, yeah, we could do that too. Why you
Hmm.
want to? You want to help?
I'm just giving you some information and insight. Go, you're
No, no,
listening.
no,
You're
no, no,
good.
no, no, no. I knew exactly where his mind was going. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
mean, there's a few of us in that we got, and you were talking about, things that on other planets and people that who have out of body experiences and things. I've just had somebody, two people, as a matter of fact, that have been in spaceships, that have
Hmm.
been on other planets, and that it's only because of you, Annette, that I can be able to talk to them and say, well, this is why, blah 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 blah. And
And did
it's
they get the beings? Did they know who they were? Did they have an idea? They get
oh
a
yeah,
sight of
oh
that?
yeah, they're communicating with these people constantly.
Excellent.
And we got a bunch of people too that call them and they can see them. I have
Oh
pic-
yeah,
I have pictures that they've sent me of the spaceship there. I mean there. I mean a real
right in
photograph,
front.
right?
Yep.
And how about that jet a month and a half ago that
What
had me
happened?
fly right over to the airline? I think it was American Airlines.
Okay, was that in Arizona or where was it?
No, I forget where it was, Nick, but I'll look it up
I
and
didn't
I'll.
even hear it. I'm like, really? I'm in my little
Yeah,
world.
no, no, it did. No, no, everybody on the plane, the pilot was like, "Hey, man, long cylinder, thing."
Yeah, isn't it interesting how many more designs people might become aware of? A long cylindrical object, what? Isn't it supposed to be circle? A triangular shape? Yeah, but what if in addition those are symbolic representatives of the numbers of the universe, of the shapes of the universe in different designs?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, I always say the scientists who have these major discoveries do it in letters and numbers. X minus square root of this, and then add that, and boop, yep, because they're very precise. Each number has its own vibrational pattern of information.
Mm-hmm.
And another aspect that I love to share is when I get an opportunity to go to Mag's presentations, and when she does the tarot, she also does astrology, numerology, and a variety of other capacities. But I love it because when she's sitting in a public way, she's very relaxed and casual. And there's new people who come to her, and I can tell, they're like, okay, whatever, some cards, let's see what they're going to get. All right. And then they sit down, and she begins to start reading the cards. And, if she's reading for that particular person, they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I love that because they validate themselves. But that's the thing also is I question it all day long. I do everything daily, but I'm not silly. I'm going to make sure I know for me that that's real. It's all I can speak about. But also, she's really good at giving that information and communicating it.
But when it comes to alien connections, right? Whether you're visited by an alien, or you have seen a ship, or you've been on a ship, or you've heard a message from the aliens. It's a very interesting dynamic because you can't negate your own life experience. And so the more people that can see these things, feel these things, have these experiences, the more it becomes mainstream, the more it becomes okay to make those connections. And I feel like this is what's starting to really come about in humanity. You know, not only are they going to potentially release things from the government later this year around, you know, alien phenomenon, potentially, but, you know, we have so many people that are coming out of the alien closet, so to speak, saying, oh, I had an experience, or, you know, I've been through something, and or they come and talk to me and they give me downloads. And it's this really dynamic movement that we're all experiencing on a consciousness shift level. And I feel like the people that are open to it already are the ones that are having those experiences, the people that are calling in the aliens, and the people that are already think that they exist. You don't have to prove anything to the believers, you know, but those believers are creating a movement, an energetic push, so to speak, so that the rest of humanity, the rest of people that can come along and be like, you know what, yeah, I think there's something to that. And I definitely think some of the shows on are awakening people's minds.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
Ancient Aliens is huge. You know, people are just like, I believe, you know, people who had never in a million years believe. I mean, certain TV shows have really been educating the masses. And so with that shift and with that I'll call it education, you know, I feel like we're riding a wave. We're riding a wave of bringing that to the forefront. And then that's one of the reasons I'm loving that now is the time you decided to publish your books, you know? It's like, it's just awesome. It's
Well, and that
perfect
was
timing.
30 years ago that my mom and I wrote those books, and they've been
Right.
sitting there. Now, in addition, a big contributing factor was one, we wanted to share some information that we're not the only cosmic family. Two, that everyone has a connection and life is relative. Three, we wanted to bring the children and parents together through the entertainment of the characters and experiences while being able to inform them as they learn together. That way, it's not like a difference and you're not into it. It's, oh, this is just fun and playfulness. And it is, of course, but there's a lot of validity to reason why we did write these a long time ago. Because, you know, kind of psychic or something. What if we had an idea of the direction of humanity and where it was going? And in this case, just let it sit there. But the time frame of 30 years it took to get us worldwide instantly, instead of the old school of having a publisher and, you know, that kind of thing. Snail mail, whole different frequency.
I
And
still
Mag's amazing at manifesting.
I still believe that people should, or children, should be reading books like these.
It's all about the love, man. You know that.
And
And
here's the new one.
and those.
Book 2.
They should be reading them because the material that's in here is nothing more than enriching the child, opening the mind of the child. That is the purpose of the book. And what's written and what's understood and what's taught. I mean, they're not telling you you're going to be an alien tomorrow. You know, they're not going to tell you that somebody's going to come down and sit on your house. You know, none of those things that are in there. This is very, very innocent stories about something that is going on every day in our lives and we don't realize it. On the other hand, the schools are going in a different direction, which is driving. I'm not going to bring it up in this show, but I'm telling you, there's other shows that I have, and there's no reason to teach a child something he doesn't need. At least not when he's a child. When he's an adult and he wakes up, then he goes, "Oh, okay." But
And what do I
this,
want to use in my life
but
experience?
this is in the book. When that kid becomes an adult, he's going to turn around and say, "Okay, where do I have to look?" That's the opening of the mind that happened when they were children. We,
Yes.
and I've said this, and you've heard me say this before. A questioner, someone who is a questioner, is a person who is expanding his life and his mind to unbelievable amounts. But if you go in front of a board of education, which I did when we were up in New Jersey, I know you were first on the show. That was the first year or two in on the show. I went in front of them and I spoke just like we're talking right now, and about expanding, the children's mind, and not just giving them, this ABC and everything else. That go a little bit further than that, and they all turn around and say, "Why? These were adults. These were adults." I mean, I swear to God, I was so nice and so cordial and
How
so
did you respond to that?
together. Oh no, I responded out in the parking lot. I, I,
Oh,
there's
shiver
no, there's,
anymore. You see the
there's,
light.
there was no way I was going to say anything while I was in front of all those people. I had to be Mr. Nice Guy. When I was
Smart.
outside, I was like, I turned up the,
Releasing. But
oh, oh,
excuse me, and that's a major thing is I don't need to prove anything to anybody. If they don't believe it or if they do, great, it's whatever works for them. But that's another aspect why for me in this life physically, as I've gotten a little bit more years of wisdom, I'm doing a lot of scientific studies. I want to put the practicality to the solid scientific validations and quantifiable categorizations and all that.
yeah,
Good, right? Now let's move along. Kind of like that quantum physics and the eternal beings, energy
right.
can neither be created nor destroyed. It always has been. So those kinds of practical things are kind of lining up to go, well, now that we have another way of reading this, and this way quantum physics goes to an even deeper level, I'm starting to realize, oh, it's all energy. Oh, and
Oh,
so as an electrical being, vibrational light being is who we are to me. It's also that's why I wanted to do, in this case, the mediumship and the psychic is to, if I can connect, and we all can, ladies and gentlemen, but if I can connect with your loved ones and we're getting the conversations and personalities and characteristics and circumstances, if we can connect to our loved ones, we can connect to others, just tuning into different channels. Now, through some of the testing things that I did, we were also able to bring together, kind of unify different channels into like a conference call. Ascended masters, extraterrestrials, angels, loved ones were all in on this conversation in one shot. It wasn't like I'm over here. It's bip. Everybody, no matter what channel they were that we had on the team, was there. But
mm.
in a conference call, everyone could hear it. It's not like you had to tap into each individual person. It's like we're doing here, right now.
Maggie, you're
Well,
talking with your eyes. I can see you.
I can't help but talk with my eyes. He talks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
That's what that's
Yeah,
her word.
I was figuring like, move over. She's gonna
She's
take.
amazing, man. I don't have to worry about her. She's awesome.
One of the things I love about the children's books is that they're introducing really good morals to kids.
Right,
One, doesn't matter what you look like.
right,
We're a galactic family. Treat each other with respect. I mean, it's just a huge lesson. And it's one that's even prevalent here in the world, because alien is alien, and not that we get into race types of issues, but there is judgment against people that don't look like us. And we call them aliens, they're from another planet.
And here's the thing,
And
we're aliens to everyone else. So it's like, yeah, and is that scary?
mhm,
No, we just perceive ourselves as, well, wait a minute. If they also look different, that's not supposed to be. They're supposed to look human. Really? Do they really?
yeah,
But it's nice because for parents who are trying to teach their kids good value systems, you're introducing a pure acceptance of a different life form already, in a place of love, in a place of friendships, and building friendships with people that aren't raised like you, don't look like you, yet you can connect through a vibe, through.
Yeah.
So I love that about, that was really introduced strongly in the first book, and also the concept of mental telepathy. And as we are evolving consciously, this is going to be something that these kids being born, knowing that that's possible, knowing that flat out this is real, they're going to be much more open to their own psychic gifts as well.
With a safety in it to go, okay.
Exactly. Without questioning, with just like a pure acceptance. Now, book 2 is even more exciting because then you're teaching kids the art of meditation and how it's valuable and how you can take your mind to another location.
Really?
So it sets the stage for ultimately for humanity to be able to, teleport themselves in different places,
And I love
which
this.
is
She's very
fantastic.
straightforward, right? If it wasn't great, she wouldn't be saying, "Oh, it's amazing." It's okay. And the great thing is she's very spiritual in her own way. But not only that, we're seeing how maybe these adventures can bring families together. And when it can be entertaining and informative, it's not so
Well,
scary.
and the nice thing about book two is the family takes an adventure together.
Yes.
All of them go together. They go to Mars together. And so, and they're learning a new way of meditation to get there, but they all go together as a team. And so it's like a family type of energy. And these books are amazing to build the connection with family, so your immediate family, and then your galactic family. It's just so fun that every book introduces a new ability that is innate in our
Natural
humanity
world.
if we would just accept it. And when we introduce this to a child that's just still conditioning and still forming his mind and his value system and how he's going to live out the rest of his life in these formative years, we're introducing concepts that have less limitations than what we grew up with. And I absolutely love it.
Not only that, we wanted to unify. This is the intergalactic seal. This is what everybody wears, is the exact same design. Yet each character has their own color combinations of the intergalactic seal. Not only that, we wanted to give it a oneness together, meaning here's the seals and then here's the ISC symbol. But you can also see, each character has their own unique symbol. So not only with a universal ISC, but individualized soul print symbology. Rocco and Tookee, right, are the twins. Now we've got the creativeness. Now we also have created the Intergalactic Space Club, which is going to be a quarterly issue that will send out coloring books, word finds, crosswords, a variety of other create your own worlds. Not only that, but I'm always at the end result because I'm so excited about this.
I must say his end result's a little outdated. It's going to look, probably when it's eventually built out, it would be an application that a child's going to play on their tablet.
As an app, correct.
As an app, right.
Plus a physical location of the intergalactic theme park. Well, we'll have holographic imaging. They can create their own solar systems, their own planet, their own characters, and way beyond that.
All right, that's something that I would say that kids that were in kindergarten or first grade, right up their alley.
Yep.
Right up their alley. And you know what? Which you probably thought, never mind, you already did. I can see it in your face. This could be a great game.
It is. We already have a game board created. You're exactly right.
Okay, this
very
would be
good
game, because if you do something like that, there's the expanding of the mind again. You're seeing something they already have and they already use, and you're expanding it. You're bringing it into a different, how can I say it? A different reality.
Yep. Another vantage point.
Yeah, you're taking them out of the comfort zone into the unknown.
And when you can give it comfort, they can approach the unknown with comfort. Because in doing that, we have that game board. Plus, it's not just the 6-sided, it's the 10-sided dice that have it right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can get into the uniqueness of the games going, let's have a couple of dice. One that's in the minus, taking away numbers, and the other one that's a positive. Oh, wait a minute, I just got moved ahead 3, but I just had to take away 2, so now I've got 1 spot to, so again, it's just a playful.
But it's math too.
Exactly. It's playful, it's entertaining, and informative. Mm-hmm. It's why we have the commandments there, is to, just be nice, be true, and always say I love you, because you never know when your next assignment's going to be given to you. It can happen that quickly.
It was really, really funny, because I sent a copy, actually, of what was in this book and that over to my sister. And it was funny because she turns around and she goes, well, how come it has Bob and Betsy? I knew a Betsy, and I'm the Bob, and there's a Daddy Bill, right?
Yep.
My brother-in-law was Bill, and Mama Lee, my other wife had a grandmother who was Lee.
Is that wild? Look at how that brings it to life.
It was so weird. I was saying to myself, oh, wow, that's cool,
And so many years ago. Yet it's the exact piece of information. Exactly. That's where that magic happens. because most of us will have experiences, but a lot of it, don't do that. That's not a good thing. And for me, I needed to be acclimated from a very young age to go, man, I don't know. This ability is so natural. It's supernatural. I'm just doing it. But it
Mhm.
also, growing up with my mom, gave me a lot of comfort. My mom, many years ago, lived in Hudson Valley, okay, in New York over there. And she lived on a
Oh,
Nike
God.
base. Yeah, because her husband back then, John, was connected to the service. Anyhow, they lived where there was a
My daughter's
pond
Pearl River, so I mean, she's
uh,
like a hop and a
right
skip.
down the way. Yeah.
Oh,
And excuse me. So my mom was placed, her home was next to a graveyard. And then a little ways down, it had a pond with some water in it. Well, pretty much each and every night, that pond would drain out, it would open up, and triangular shaped ships were coming out of that hole.
mm.
Triangles back then. And my mom would see it all the time. And so finally, one time, she's like, you know what? No, let's freaking do this. Because she was a professional dancer. She had her own academy and all that good stuff. But she had one of the big mirrors that she hadn't put up. And she's like, all right, let's see what they're going to do if we can flash that light back. Because I freaking see it every night. And so it's around the time on average. And things open up, and out comes this light triangular shape. And then she pushes it up. Whing! It disappeared instantly, like gone. Like, dang, stupid. Do not
Yeah.
kid yourself. When you're connected to the service in that kind of circumstance, they keep tabs on you.
Mm. And it's, before, like, for instance, for your mother, she saw things like that. People see things today. And, it's funny because some of the people that I question that, they go, no, I never saw that. But, one time and I thought I saw, I said, you thought?
That's
You,
the point,
you
because it's the
thought?
illusion.
Yeah.
And
Well,
good.
we don't vibrate. I mean, like most people, and I think you, Maggie, know more about this than even Jamie does, or maybe Jamie does. I don't know. But vibration, I mean, light workers, for instance, their frequency is higher than say mine, and the higher you actually get your frequency up, your what
Tune
feel,
into. Mhm.
yeah, what you're into, the more you get that up, and doing your exercises or your media, your meta, whatever, you do all kinds of things. This opens you up to be able to see those other things because they're on a different frequency. So the closer you get to their frequency, the more you're going to see the other person, the more you're going to communicate with the other side.
Yeah, and I just like the way Jamie describes it as tuning into a channel, because that's exactly, it's a refinement. So if you're choosing to work with your own life force energy, you have to also choose what you're going to do with it, because it's just doing nothing with it doesn't really do what you're here to do. So where are you going to put it? You're going to put it into work, because that's normal for people. You'll put it into your family, raising your kids. That's normal for people. But light workers are consciously pushing their energy or offering their energy into other realms, other connections, whether it's for healing, energetic healing or protection or whatever people feel like they need. So this energy that we have, we can train it to vibrate with certain things. And the more that we do that, the more we understand what we're doing and we get familiar with, I guess, the template of where we're sending it. There's always a template or a goal or a vision, but it's an exploration of what that looks like. It's like tuning into a radio station, but then listening to every program that's on and every guest that's on and learning the ins and outs to know when you really want to be a part of it and when you don't, or whatever that might look like. And so I do call the vibrational targeting an exploration at this point, and especially with aliens, because when you do choose to open up the doors and you do choose to make connections consciously, you really don't know what you're getting into. You have to kind of just be open. For some people, it means taking a travel on a ship. For some people, it's just seeing an alien. For some people, it's communicating with them or receiving guidance or information. But they can really work with your energy as well. I mean, there's other things that they can influence. Now, it's not very common that we're asking for specific vibrational frequencies from our brothers and sisters because we're not really sure what we're asking for yet until we have a couple experiences. And then we could be like, okay, oh, I'm ready for more downloads now. Or, okay, I'm ready for, for more connection and maybe to go visit another planet or whatever it might be. But it's not until you have an idea of what's possible that you know what you can target.
And not only that, but that brings up an interesting dynamic. And we had a guest on a couple of shows ago, Mike, and he's another psychic medium. And he was sharing the fact that when he was younger, he was making connections, but he was also, as he was growing older, talking to some friends and sharing kind of what he was doing with the mediumship. And most of the friends weren't into it or they didn't quite get it, going, okay, all right, whatever, sure. And so they just let him be him. And then one evening, a little ways down the road, they're all at a party and, it's him and his friends. And they're all sitting there and all of a sudden this stranger comes walking up to, in this case, Mike. And he looks at Mike and I believe he said that I have a friend who died and he's sitting over in that chair area over there. And he's telling me that you're making connections with that. And the friends were like, my point is, even the loved ones knew when you're open and on, they know the level of light that comes from it, which translates to me into what channel you're tapping into. Mm-hmm. That's how our loved ones know us, and the ETs and interdimensionals, Jesus, angel, all these different things are directly connected because we have that soul print of energy, like a fingerprint. It's unique. So that life will be, we're in it, and a lot of us are of it. I'm in this world, but I'm of the mentality of success attained in oneness kind of thing. But it's also being able to have fun and then create other dynamics, because not only is it with the intergalactic theme park with the different rides and the solars and all that, but how about holographic imaging where you can take, and it's already there because I was doing a show and advertising thing. Anyhow, within that, where it's a holographic imager, and if you have a front, side, and back picture of a loved one, and then if you have like a 30-second sound bite of that person's voice, they can literally holographically recreate that loved one with their own vibrational patterns of communication going, holy. And again, we're vibrational light beings. It's all energy. But now as we get the technology to go, oh, so it's only magic until we understand it in the scientific way. Oh, right, because everything's spiritual, like I said. And right, life is relative. We're living on the other side of where we come from before here. No matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah, but all right, here's one for you. They discovered there's two Earths other than us.
And many more. Yeah.
Well, they're the two of them that they can see. Now, this is what I was talking to Diane here one day, and I said to her, I wonder if they know we're here if we found them. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, think about it. The other two Earths have already been more or less examined, however the scientists do it. And they say it's actually a nicer place, both of them, than the Earth.
And notice they don't even question whether there's beings on that planet already. Nope. Hey, no, there's nothing. If we're going to find a planet, it's ours. We're going to take... that brings up just an interesting point that, and again, just from my awareness, but there are people who are perceiving that they're going to save the planet and do all of that. And it was pointed out to me to go, well, they may not do it in that way, because if they're outside the planet in their own race, and then they graciously want to save this planet to help us out, and then we're saved, and then we become aggressive and planet stealers, kind of like what's starting to happen. How do you think that race that had the beautiful intent of saving us for a good thing actually gave us the power to, I don't know, kill billions of people like that?
The stuff that we got going on right now, and that's over the last less than 100 days. But the things that we have going on right now, and that in thoughts of bad energy and aggression, this can be felt. We talk about energy all the time. That is, those people that are doing what they're doing are emitting bad energy. And I'm sure that someone somewhere feels it and says, I ain't going to mess with them guys. They're crazy.
Right. Or what if we
Serious.
target those kind of people?
Yeah, well, could be. Yeah, might be.
No, yeah, that's nice. No, it
I mean,
is.
I mean, look, when you have and I'm not even going to pick on a race. When you have a country that's thinking about using whatever it is, EMP, and
Okay.
that to quiet people down, that's a little bit over my head a little bit. You know what I mean? But there's not going to be wars anymore. There isn't. Nobody's going to blow anybody up. You don't have to do that. I mean, I could blow somebody up on from my computer. So
Yeah,
what?
huh?
Well, I'm serious. I mean, these kind of things are what we're looking at right now, and what we are as human beings. We're better than the computer. We are a computer, but we're a live computer with compassion, love, and thoughts. Free.
And that's another contributing factor is the compassion or the energy intent. And again, just my awareness, but I will say down the road, AI will be running the planet. There is no emotional choices made. It is very matter of fact. And it's not that everyone's zoom and numb and there's nothing. Nope. But they'll also take out those potential human qualities that tend to, on average, get in our own way because a lot of times it's feelings or emotions or circumstances that will cause us to make a decision one way or another and then go in that direction. They're not, to me, they're not pushing it, but they're helping us because instead of saving us as a planet from the outside as a different species,
Mhm.
people are being born into this planet. I'm like, that's freaking brilliant because they've just gone around the roadblock in a cosmic way to go, no, you're not supposed to be another world to do that. Oh, really? Then let's incarnate on that planet, and now we're humans in this way, right? Kind of like all the other worlds. The most recent is what we're going to associate. All right, let's keep moving along. But
Yeah.
that's why I wanted the Roko and Tukey and the adventures is to, from this point, and again, that's why the scientific studies put a little bit more solidness. And as we move along, we'll be taking journeys on the Infinite Voyager, which Rusty the Resident Robot is the captain of. Many other dimensions, many other universes.
Oh yeah.
And if we can do that and bring it to you, it's a little more comforting. Plus games, clothing, each one, this and their symbols, all of that, we want to bring it together to go, it doesn't matter on average, when you see that symbol, you'll instantly think of them. There's that ISC symbol, that's an intergalactic one, okay. And funny, but we're kind of giving Mickey Mouse and Star Wars a run for their money. With the qualities back then, Walt Disney, the people were terrified of mice. Yet, all these years later, I don't know, I think his company is worth $500 billion. It's kind of decent
Mhm.
from a mouse in the beginnings and then expanding from there. Basically, that's my point. That's another reason why I wanted to do this is it is about love. Just because they're not from this planet doesn't mean they're trying to destroy it. What if they're trying to help others to help themselves and realize they can only do so much, but to take trips, adventures with some of the occupants on that planet? To now co-create, to bridge that energy from their world to this world effortlessly through fun, through adventure, through experience. So we want to put a lot of these qualities and characteristics in to go, this is stuff that
I,
sorry. This is stuff I've been talking about for most of my life. But now when we can bring this in and have the kids open, it's not scary, then it's the adventure. Sorry about that, man.
I,
I got my hair set in too.
we had about 6, 7 years ago, and I was looking it up in it, but it goes back even further. The writer of the book AI, and he was the person who, I mean, we're talking MIT kind of people and everything else into this stuff. This was when persons said that AI might at one time or another take over, things like you just said, will, they said could, because it was that many years ago.
Right.
But they were intelligent people enough to turn around and said, I wouldn't take that out of your thoughts
As a
because
reality
they
potential.
knew, well, they knew at that time that things like computers were going to get better and better and better and better and faster and bigger and broadband was going to go through the roof and everything else. Come on. way back then, and you guys have to remember this. If you don't, then I'm going to say whatever. But when you went to the supermarket and they gave you a free CD, and it was AOL.
Yep.
Remember that?
That was tech, baby.
Okay, now
Yeah,
you're
huh?
AI. Okay, do you know how far we've come? Only in the last 17 years, 18 years,
About
from
17
from
years from then.
at that something like that. From then the CD to where we are right now.
And where we're going.
Right. Well, where we're going is again, it's going to be wireless. The wires, forget about it. That's garbage. Throw them all out. Broadband is going to be out of this world. I mean, right now, I mean, I can get gigs.
I bet.
Not what's his little bits anymore. No, man. I mean, I'm talking. I can get 1,000.
No,
Come
it's
on,
interesting. But
if I
with
want.
that foresight, kind of like that, Nikola Tesla, he also helped us on some of the scientific studies too.
Yep.
But way back when, over 100 years ago, he was like, we will be able to fit a little object in your pocket that will be connected to the world. And people are like, are you freaking crazy? And they're, free energy because he was all about that stuff, man. If the entire planet can use it, why do you need to charge for it? Let's build upon the benefits and not the detriments. Anyhow, within that, that was over 100 years ago. He was talking about, he didn't say cell phone anyway, nothing. He just getting an object that you'll be able to fit into your pocket and be able to have the connection of all of the stuff, libraries and everything. And we do now. We didn't have the computers back then that we were aware of, but
Um,
his own creative process to tap into that information that's always there for anyone to tap in. It's who taps in and who uses it. A lot of people, I saw that, I should have tapped it. Yeah, huh? Didn't you? You
I
just
can
didn't
tell
act
you.
on it,
I can tell you where you've seen the exact thing that he described.
which is,
Star Trek. Star Trek. Remember the little
Yep.
thing on their thing?
oh,
They
the jerk.
talk to whoever they wanted to do. It
Yeah,
there. It was there. Star Trek had so many things that were out of this world. You know what I mean? That we were complete. Look at us. We went to the moon. Okay, who 100 and some odd years ago, and that said, oh, they can go to the moon.
right.
Right? They even had
Who even,
cartoons of people going to the moon 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago.
mhm.
I mean, God, even at my age, I mean, they were back in the 40s, and I. Ugh.
You can remember?
Somebody literally asked me the other day, and how long do you think you got?
Oh, sure. You feeling lucky?
I'm serious. I was
That's
like,
an interesting question.
hey, when
Yeah,
some,
exactly.
I mean, I had to turn around, like I said, and say, well, I don't know, that like, I definitely, I mean, I have a limit, you know what I mean? I say, well, if I ever get here, forget about it. I'll jump off a bridge first.
Yeah, how'd you like tapping into that human conscious? Like, oh, wait a minute, that just got real. Like, yeah, yep.
Well, there was Diane thinks I'm nuts, and I turned around and said, I've had it. I've had enough. you know,
It's powerful. But look, man, that got real. Right? You're like, no, well, we all get to graduate, but holy crap, that puts a reality check.
yeah.
Because I think a lot of that is those life things you want to do. A lot of times you'll wait till the circumstances are so, a lot of times challenging to go, oh, I shoulda. And yeah, but if you can do it along the way, right, when you can in any way, then there's no so much of the I shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's, man, I'm glad I did, and let's go on. Because that's that connection we also wanted to bring through the adventures is just like Maggie's saying, all of our intergalactic family. When we can travel to other worlds and have their hospitality, the love, the empowerment, the teachings, and spiritual awareness from those perspectives. And again, it's not going to go off into the crazyville. It's just very light, but we want to share some information, some insight for me and my mom, what she's grown up with and experienced, and what I've grown up and experienced. And again, you're only a nut job till it's validated. Go see Tej and Anna Shiv going, oh yeah, it's very real. You're only a nut job till it's validated. To go, well, yeah, I guess we'll see.
And book 2 is really fun because one of the master teachers is introduced, and his name is Quasar, and he's one of my favorite characters. and he's just this cool little Martian guy, you know, that lives in a temple of light and crystals and underneath Mars. He's amazing. So when they go to visit him, he's sharing with the family their origin theories and like how this got created, and it's a really cool little story and adventure, but introducing the characters one by one through the books. Now, Zahn from the fifth dimension has like a little cameo appearance, but isn't necessarily introduced until the third book.
And here's Zahn.
Yeah.
And again, each one having their own character, their own. Cool. And so in this one, he's got that. Blue and gold are his colors. And then we have Rusty, the resident robot, who is the captain of the Infinite Voyager. Purple and gold as the combo, and his nice set of gears as a symbol.
Yeah.
And then tying it in with a little bit more, which is exactly what Mag is wearing, which is Quasar, his colors, red and gray, and this beautiful, unique symbol.
That is
way out there. My big head can't see it. But again, we wanted to get the versatility. We wanted to get people to just see one of these and go, that's so-and-so. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, now you just go into jamieclark.net and you go into the store and the shop part that's on it. I'm telling you, I was in there yesterday. I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, it's got that one and that one, that one, that one. You never know, you know?
Some more things heading your way.
A lot of the Roko and Tookee merchandise, we're just categorizing right now. It will be up on the site really soon, probably within the next month. So we've got hats and shirts right now that are really cool. And then later on, we'll probably bring in some other merch, you know.
One of the other ones, yeah.
I don't know where he went. He's running away. Oh, he's bringing his hat out. There you go.
Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is so cool.
So it's fun, but in addition, you know, it's a hat, and whether they wear it this way or this way, because I wanted to be solid that on average people wear it with a bill folded, you know, in the front. So good. If you're driving, put it on the left side. I wanted it to have access to humanity as much as possible, even in the subtle day-to-day, you know, driving and experiencing. But it's those. Go ahead.
That is definitely a truck driver's hat.
Yeah, huh?
That is kind of one. And you go into a diner, they will serve you first.
Beautiful, you know. But it's also fun. It's entertaining, and in my mind, we already have cartoons and a variety of other things. Not only that, with the intergalactic theme park, we're going to have 5 different areas, all looking like ships. Top one, bigger, then flanked by 2 others, and then 2 others. One of those will be where the dancing and the entertainment is. The other one is going to be where the science is and the holographic imaging and all of that. Other one is the history and different aspects of planet. So again, each one is going to have its own uniqueness, but in addition, being able to be creative, go, yeah, that's kind of cool. A theme park that looks like a bunch of spaceships on the side when they're all lit up too. Isn't it weird? Yeah, huh? Plus, we'll have a lot of other rides and stuff. But basically, it's tying into the entertainment and information. If you can have fun and see it's not so scary, maybe you're open for a little bit more.
That reminds me of what was the movie in that with the island with the dinosaurs?
Jurassic
Park. Yep.
Jurassic Park. Right. That's what that reminds me of, because that's what he's describing. They had only it was an island.
Yeah. Huh. And we could all take it in that too.
But it was so cool. I mean, even the island was so cool. I mean, the dinosaurs, they got a little out of hand, but like, hey, you know.
But what about that? What about some of the dinosaurs on other worlds? How do they look? Are they still there? What's going? You know, that's I'm just a crazy person.
Look, a long time ago, he called me praying mantis.
Yep.
You know, that might have been where this energy came from.
And it is a contributing factor.
It passed through, you know, wherever it went. You never know. But I mean, you know, you should see what I do net around here, and that might in what's this when I go home, whatever. It's one of these. You know.
Yeah.
But what's this praying mantis?
Funny, but those are very real beings, beings like that, similar to that. And isn't it
very intelligent?
Yeah, huh?
So
Wouldn't it be interesting if kind of like that, that other insects or animals are connected to other worlds and maybe to keep an eye on us in a very natural, effortless way? And kind of not right.
Well, that's
Or
that's
something like that.
interesting because Jamie and three other psychic mediums have formed a panel, and they're doing this presentation called Star Seeds: The Truth and the Tribe. And you can find out more information and registration at starseedstribe.com. But it literally will talk about extraterrestrials, what a star seed is, how it works, why it's working right
How
now.
to incorporate it into your life in a safe, sane way
Yep.
instead of going, my whole consciousness just shifted. Like, yeah, that's when people freak out. We can build that step by step, entertaining and then informative. Now they're growing and expanding from there with a safe, harmonized energy, not a fearful void kind of an energy.
Because there are a lot of people that have either alien genes or a direct connection to being part alien. We call them hybrids. And this is one of those courses that's really sorely needed for just some education so people don't feel alone, and that, they know that this is a real thing and this can happen. And the world is eventually opening up to the love. So
Yes, definitely. And so it's pretty cool that in the governmental aspect that they signed the thing that'll give, insight about ETs, and they'll honor that. But it's like, aren't you cute? Do you really? They're only going to share what they're allowed to share. They're not silly. So within that, as things are starting to tie in, and then we start getting into remote viewing, which is some of the stuff I do, and there's many of us, everyone can do it, but we're already picking up a lot of otherworldly connections to beings on those worlds, other dimensions. We've been going to Mars for the past 30 years. Already we've been there a long time. There are beings who live on the inside of that planet. There is water, there's plant life stuff, and it's not the sign of life potential. All right, but there we go. They just got to acclimate slowly but surely.
I did read something exactly what he's talking about the thing that with Mars and everything else, and that it was relative to if everybody watched Star Wars. There was that big planet thing that looked like the moon
Yeah,
that
we
was
haven't seen that yet,
going
right? Is
around,
that the one? Okay.
yeah.
and the whole inside of it was cities. That's how big this thing was. And they say that the same thing, only with dirt on it, just like you collect dust on your furniture. They collected dust or dirt all over a planet like the moon, which could be a little satellite that's just bopping around.
Hmm.
Nobody ever walked on the other side, so hey, like who knows? Although there's lights over there every once in a while. I mean, I wonder if they paid their power bill. But anyway, maybe they go out once in a while. But the thing is, all of these things that everybody goes nah nah nah. They believe the narrative that's out there in the news or shows that are on TV and everything else. There is no stop to what's real and what's possibly real. I still say I'm still agreeing that the guys that went up on the moon saw something that nobody tells you when they come back. You'll never hear about it. Half of the guys that went up there saw things. In fact, one of them came back with a message that someone told them not to return. Now, why would somebody tell them not to return? Huh?
Yeah. I used to work at a place called Marriott Camelback Inn, and it was a nice place. We used to have a lot of people. Well, one of them was one of those astronauts, the originals.
Ta-da!
And I just shared a little bit, with him as I was talking with him. He had written a book and he was very graciously signing it and that kind of thing. And I said, hey, we've been watching and you're looking, huh? Because there is that. What if there are things on there? What if it is potentially a satellite? Because I don't think it ever really moves around, does it? It seems to
Mm-mm.
stay kind of away. Well, that's kind of unique. You know, again, not that it's the only thing, but there are those things that are in front of us all day long that people are so used to seeing. Whatever. Yeah, it's just a moon. It's just this going, yeah, isn't it? So it seems. What if there's more to it? And kind of tying into that with the intergalactic adventures is Rusty the Resident Robot aboard the Infinite Voyager will be bringing on other characters from other worlds, making it the safe place on the Infinite Voyager. Plus, as they get it, then we can go connect to the other worlds and see how they live. But we want to bring it in a safe, consistent, happy way, not fearful, empowering.
Right. Exactly. And, as I had said in the beginning of this show, and that this is the kind of thing that kids should be more or less brought to, shown, taught. I mean, I'm not saying go to the book and teach them what's in the book. I'm telling them to do or think or be more than what he is. Just like these kids. These kids wanted to go out and they wanted to expand their knowledge. They wanted to know more. Well, that's education. That's what it's supposed to be. All these kids have been sitting home for, this is bothering me. For a year, these kids are home. They have to take a look. How many kids in that were in their senior year? And
Yeah.
now they want to go to college. What's the college going to take for scores and everything else from somebody who never saw a teacher? All these things are coming out in the next month or so.
And do they still need a lot of the physical locations now that most of the things have moved online? Mm-hmm. And of course, universities, because it's the honoring, I believe, and all that. But I'm curious, what's the rippling effect? How many have let those physical locations go just to be online?
I'll give you one better. I mean, my daughter, being a vice president of a big company now, she told me, she said, Dad, it's really, really funny because she said the companies are actually telling the people to stay home. Yeah. Instead of giving them raises, okay, they tell them to stay home. You know why? Because they save money on their lunches. They save money on their gas. They don't have to travel. They don't have to waste time. That's sometimes an hour, 2 hours, whatever, going to work and coming home. I mean, I used to do it when I worked in New York for 25 years. It was 2 years in, 2 hours in, and 2 hours out.
Same thing. Felt like 2 years.
Absolutely. Well, it could have been. Felt like it. I wrote music, though, both ways. So that wasn't bad. But the idea of the thing is that all of these things are parts of our lives. And now we just went AI.
Yep.
Okay. So now we're thinking that like, hey, we'll let the machines or the tablets or the computers or the desktops or whatever, they're going to do the job for us. All we're going to do is fill in the holes. And when you're in
the holes first,
you don't fill in the holes. You don't click here. You don't delete. You don't add. You don't copy and paste. Let's face it. I mean, if you're on a computer and then you want to answer something, you just Google it. You go, see?
Yeah, huh? And wait a minute, then other things start coming up along the lines of what you were Googling. There's that AI instantly wash. It's going to come sooner than later.
I get a thing. I don't know whether you guys get it. Do you get the thing in that from your Google that shows you where you've been for the last month?
I think so. And like I do, every keystroke is registered. And not really deleted.
I went nuts. I mean, it even gave the names of the places that I went to and what time I was there.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting more and more into not using my phone, my phone at all. Period. There's no way you can turn it off. I mean, you can turn it off, but it still tracks. The battery is still connected to the chip that tracks you. So even if you turn your phone off, it's still tracking you.
And they can turn it on very easily. Not only that, it doesn't even have to be on when they can shoot impulse vibrations.
Yep. And I mean, these are things that nobody realizes. They got 5G now coming out. Oh, that's really going to fry you up nice. It's like,
that's just the beginning. It goes way beyond 5G. It's like, oh, isn't that nice? Way beyond that. And some of that nanotechnology plus the higher vibe frequencies or channels of 5G and, could create different things and actions and things.
Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy, but the nanots in the vaccine and all of that,
I don't know nothing.
I know.
I ain't heard nothing.
I'm staying. I let the guests tell me.
Smart.
So I mean, that's I'm not
You're
going to
not
get. I mean,
stupid.
come on, I'll have guys with dark. What's this?
Yeah, the
That's
Mibs,
right.
right?
Yeah, they'll be coming over. So tell me now how do we get this book?
Okay.
Mag's got all that insight, man. I
So
love it.
Great.
Yeah, she's amazing, and
Yeah.
you can hear her. I'm a
if
rambling.
if you want a signed copy from Jamie, you can order it through his website. Go to the shop there or psychicevolution.net, the shop there. And if you just wanted to order it from Amazon, it's on Amazon right now. The Kindle versions are going to be coming out in the next few months as well. Those are in the process of putting themselves together, you know, because I'm
Plus,
not doing, no,
we're
just
gonna be going.
kidding.
She does it all, man. Plus, we're gonna do audiobooks.
Yeah, and we'll have some audiobooks coming out. We're working with cleaning up some of that footage right now. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you just go and get your signed copy ordered, and then we ship it out to you, and
You
with
know,
a
and it's
lot of
so much
love.
fun. Yeah, and such a great dynamic where we can do this all together, man. And it's empowering, not like, oh lordy.
On
But
the
not
au-
only
on the audio version, and that, are you going to put that in like a Fire Stick?
We haven't decided yet how we're going to, if we're just going to have it available for download or put it on Audible or something else. So we're just kind of,
part of the fun.
yeah.
The other one was kind of cool in that with the Fire Stick because a Fire Stick means that you have a library of things. You could put the whole book on a Fire Stick, and all they do is they plug it into their computer, and there it is.
That's good.
But it's something they can hold on to. They can hold, and have, or maybe that plus like a postcard or something like that with more information
That's
about
good.
the characters or
Cool.
something.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I mean, something like that is something that somebody can hold. I mean, I have them
Right.
here.
When you get to hold that, that's a physical connection.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's
then, but
powerful.
we are, going to be marketing, to parents who, with their children, who you don't want them to lose the Fire Stick. You want to make sure they have a downloaded copy somewhere on a hard drive or wherever as well. So
How
there's,
about the book? How about the book with the stick?
right,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful.
You have to have more than one thing, but yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can blend those together. Exactly.
If you go out in the car and that with your mother or something like that, you can plug the plug into the car. You can plug the plug into the tablet. There's a million different things you do. You got a baby do you want to sleep and the voice in that is talking about something and everything else. Well, good. You don't have to talk. You just plug the thing in and think about a kid. Here, go to sleep.
And have fun doing that. That the kids. But in addition, for our books and the quarterly issues, I've seen where we want to put ingrained into the paper or into the page a groove so that the little kids can get used to tracing and following and making letters or numbers. That way it's not this way. It's just put it in the groove. And from a very young age, they'll be into the numbers and shapes and all of that as part of a natural growth. Not that it's being told, but it's being shared with them. And when they can have fun to go, wow, this is kind of easy. Not like, oh man, they're more willing and apt to do that. And again, what if that can also tie into bringing the parents and the kids together with school, with that connection, like it is online, like we're on the internet web, we're on the universal web. We're just bringing that home here to go, see, it's all connected. Where do we want to go from here?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. We've got many other children's books, man. Literally, we've got 6 other books we're working in.
6?
Yeah, huh? Is that amazing? Most of them are children's books. The other couple are us as adults, our own books.
All right. So next time you're going to be on will be the 27th.
Cool.
So that is good because the 4th, I'm out of here. I know I have another show on there, but I have to tell the other host,
Good.
sorry, I'm going out to dinner.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats.
that's my special day. So I only have one a day, one a year.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah. Come on, I'm gonna get crazy. But so that's that. But the next time that we're on, and that we really really have to get more people, and I'm telling people right now the number 609-663-0153. You can call into the show. We've got somebody over here with the hottest set of tarot cards. I'm
Yes.
serious. She is hot. And
And
to boot, we also have the reference, which is next door. Jamie.
that
Jamie
one.
will validate the cards, or the cards will validate Jamie. I mean,
Jamie, exactly.
I'm serious. I mean, it's great. It really,
But that's
really.
the beauty of it too. Many modalities to read the same energy. Get the same energy, just what works for you. How do you want to read that energy? So I love Maggie because she's very versatile and she has a number of modalities. I just am the tool and I've got my one thing in a good way. I'm a tool. So it's within that we both get the same information or at least connection to information, even though she found her way through that. I found my way through it. Same experience, different perspectives with different get abilities and ways to find that connection. Because, like I'm saying, it's not just we just blindly go. It's if someone's coming to me for a psychic, I'll target like if they want to know about somebody, who's my boss, or what about my spouse, or whatever the case is. We're all interconnected. So unless you clean and clear your energy field, I can go through your energy field in a good way, always love and compassion. But whoever you call that boss or spouse or whoever it is, you've now given me a target energy vibe, and I can go through that energy field, meaning yours, and pick up whoever you just referred to as that target vibe, and usually be very accurate with personalities, circumstances, and characteristics. My thing is, it doesn't matter if it's physical or ET, you're still in the energy field because we're all interconnected.
Right.
And so I want to just make that the practical. It's all spiritual, it's all energy, it's consciousness, it's love. Great. Now let's work with some parameters so we can understand a little bit more and lose the fear and gain empowerment of realization. Basically, it's all one kind
And
of
we
thing.
can bring some people in. And you know what? After we've been through what we've been through over the last year, it's about time that people smile. I swear to God, I told this one woman one day, I said, "Are you afraid of your face falling off?"
How long do you think you got,
What do
boy?
you, no, no. She goes to me, she says, "What do you mean saying something like that?" I said, "Because I said, I've seen you twice, and both times I said, you don't smile." She goes, "Oh, didn't even realize it. It's been so long since people haven't smiled. They don't realize they look like a bunch of people like, ugh, the whole thing, but I had to make her smile for her to realize that, like, hey, there's a life."
Well, and we've gotten so used to that face mask, it's very easy. Not everyone's comfortable taking it off now. It's been very good. All you can see is eyeballs usually, unless they got those last things going on. So it's been more of the numbness, the neutrality of the experience. Kind of like there are a lot of people, doing it on the web because they had plenty of time, and it's now happening in their physical reality. Different things in different ways. Like that's kind of weird. It's mirroring it. Yeah.
I'm really tired of sounding like I'm under a bed. I'm sick of it.
Oh,
That
so
drives me out of my mind.
you've always been an excellent communicator. I'm like, man, you know what you're doing and the quality of what you have. I'm really impressed that you're bringing so many of the world together. I mean, it's got a lot of countries you're connected to. Great thing is it's already there, and if they choose, they can connect with it just by pushing a button.
Yeah,
It's how easy the worlds come together.
yeah, but I think all of a sudden I'm getting China too.
Awesome.
They-
Congrats.
I can't believe it. They're not supposed to have internet or anything like that. Yet I'm getting notes.
Unless you get
I
some
have
special people who know how to work with them.
Yeah, but I have to put it in a translator to get any kind of a message or anything. And sometimes the message even comes out inside out or upside down or whatever.
Right. Check
You know,
out and see if they've got one where you can take a picture of whatever language it is, and then it'll automatically translate it for you. I don't know what it's called, but it just drops into my big head.
I don't know. That sounds kind of good to me.
Hmm.
But I tell you something, the people that around us, what we're talking about right now, and the form that we have between us right now, is not what's going on in the rest of the world for some reason. I mean, they've disconnected everything. Disconnected themselves, from their friends, from their families, from their nation, from their politics, to the whole nine yards. People just cashed out. This year has really put people in a bad place.
Fear
And,
can be a big motivator and demotivator.
right. Well, it's time let us, we, together can bring these people to another level. Maybe even back to the normal. Well, not the normal one, but close. we can kind of sort of get them close. I think they can crawl the rest of the steps all by themselves.
And that's the beauty. If we can help them to help themselves. To me, nobody needs to be fixed or saved. Just showing that power within, become more self-realized, and begin to live life more than survive it.
It sounds like love to me.
It is. And I love you.
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing. Cool. We'll be doing this again.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, you go on jamieclark.net. I'm telling you, you got to get over there. There is stuff in there that will drive you out of your mind. I mean, I read the whole thing in that the other day for about the 19th or 17th or whatever time I was doing it. I just keep reading it. Maybe it's teaching me something. I don't know.
Even more.
Back at the ranch, yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we want to thank Jamie Clark and Maggie. You know what? I keep calling you Maxter for some reason.
That's what I do call it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, the Maxter will be back here in 2 weeks. We'll see you here at 6 o'clock. Everybody, the world, love is number one. Number two, who knows? God bless y'all. Bob Charles.